What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Nerdwide podcast. This is episode 56. I'm your host, Tyler Haynes, with my good friend to my right here, Mr. Chris Rivers. Now, Chris, last week you said you had a lot of overtime. How was this week?
Much better.
Good. That's what I love to hear.
Much better.
It
Uh,
could have been better sports wise, but
yeah, that's the bummer, but what are you gonna do?
yeah, glad I didn't put money on it. I almost did. But here we are. The king came back, but, one person cannot deliver the whole time.
Nope.
But defense can. Defense almost won us that game.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
then again, offense just, anyways. Um,
Yeah.
guys, this is episode 56 of the Nerdwide Podcast. Quick housekeeping before we jump into everything. I'm just really excited to talk about Superman and Lois. Sorry, I'm kind of breezing through things. Don't forget to subscribe to either our YouTube or podcasting service of your choice. If you enjoy the show, make sure you leave us a thumbs up on YouTube and give us a good rating for podcasting apps. If you don't enjoy what you see or hear, make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know how we can improve the show. If you want to do more, you can always go to patreon.com/nerdwide. If you want to toss us some money that way, that is the way to do it. And you got 3 different tiers you can go that way. It's got different little incentives and things you do over there as well. Chris, you been watching anything else other than Peacemaker and Superman and Lois?
No, I got a couple more episodes watched of Curse of Oak Island, but I'm not,
Still chipping away at
there's,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think if I watched. I didn't watch anything crazy this week at all. No, I don't think I watched anything. Just This Is Us is back on. That Ghost show. Just my regular
The
little
final
weekly stuff.
season, right, for This Is
Yeah,
Us?
it is. And it's wrapping some things up, but there's still a whole lot to be wrapped up that I'm very curious on how they are. I'm unsure of how many episodes we have left, but we're staying right up weekly with it. So now on YouTube TV, we are cutting Hulu live because it's just too expensive, and they keep going up on it. And quite
Yeah.
frankly, their sports suck. So it's a
There you
story
go.
for another day, though. But Chris, I'm ready. I'm ready. Spoilers tag is up, ladies and gentlemen who are listening. Peacemaker, episode 4, The Chode Less Traveled. I like this one. This show is still providing that fun little James Gunn itch. I am having a little bit of a worry that it's almost too Deadpool-y, if that makes any sense. I feel like these characters are being written for like a Deadpool character, especially Vigilante.
Mm.
Just the way their mannerisms
Yeah.
are and what they're doing with it. But I
Yeah,
still really enjoy it.
I can see that. Yeah.
Trying to.
I will say this. It's the fourth episode,
Mm-hmm.
and normally, you know, you pretty much do what you're going to do until the first scene, until the show actually kicks in. I still have to stop and watch the opening
Yeah. Oh,
credits.
yeah. I do not skip
And
it.
it's yeah, it's fun to watch.
Every time I hear that song now, it's all I'm gonna think about is all of these straight-faced people dancing to it and not even breaking character.
And badly in
Yeah.
some cases too.
I want to ask the big twist at the end. To me, I feel like it's a little too soon. I don't feel like it's earned enough. Like, I like Myrn, but I don't feel like I like Myrn enough that this came as like a big bombshell. If that makes any
I would
sense.
I don't know if they're planning a season 2,
Mm,
but to me that's something you should have saved for the finale.
yeah,
Or
like
like,
the last scene or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or if you're not coming back for another season, the last scene of the 7th episode
mm,
to set up the finale.
right.
I feel like they just kind of gave it away too soon.
Yeah. The I like. Who do you like more right now, Vigilante or Peacemaker?
Peacemaker.
Mm.
Yeah.
Vigilante's his fight scene in the prison was really well done.
It was.
I'm
It was.
I'm glad that they put that in there, and I'm curious to see where we go from here. I think Harcourt has a little bit of soft spot for him. My wife says differently. She said no, she's being nice. I'm like, she hasn't been nice to anybody this whole show. Why this guy? This
Right.
nerdy little big frame glasses guy.
Well, it's weird because on one hand, they seem to be setting it up for she and Peacemaker to get together.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought something was going to happen with Vigilante
Right.
when he got in the car,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is about to pop off.
Mm-hmm. The way she was looking at him was
And
was
yeah,
very romantically, if you will, very romantic.
yeah.
We
So
saw
I don't know.
we saw the white dragon suit, which
Yeah.
I did not expect to see that. We finally got the.
No.
They talked about the little pocket space dimension of the thing because I said
Uh-huh.
last week, I said that didn't make any sense. I was still trying to figure out how this trailer thing works, and then they answered it the very next episode. I was like, yeah, James Gunn knows what he's doing. He's not dumb.
Yeah. No. I do wonder if we're going to get some comedy moments over the next few episodes with the helmets because the way his father had the helmets sitting there, they each had a placard in front of
Mm-hmm.
them that told what they did, and he just grabs them and
Mm-hmm.
puts them in the bag. So he's, I think we're gonna get some comedy
Yeah.
elements where he's,
Just gonna grab one, think it does one thing,
yeah,
but it doesn't. Yeah. It's
yeah,
exactly what I thought. As soon as he started just chucking them into his bag, I said, "Yep,
like
here we go."
that's not a good idea. Take a picture first, and so you know what was where. I don't know
Write it
because
down, etch it on the helmet.
I think they do have slight variations to the
Yeah,
helmets,
some of them
correct?
are, like one that is all this whole thing. You got one that's like right here. Yeah, they've got variations of them.
So, what about oh, what is it that they call him? Kung Fu guy, or is that what they call him?
Oh, I'm trying to looking for his name right now. But yeah, I
Oh
know
God,
you.
I'm blanking.
Uh,
He can
Judo
take
Master.
judo master. He can take a licking
Yeah, he can take a
because
lot of hits.
he got beat in the head by economist
Yeah.
in the third episode, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's still up and going. I don't I don't know if he's. Well, you got the spoiler tag up. I don't know if he's dead.
I don't
I mean,
think he is.
I
I don't
don't
think they're
think
gonna kill him
he's.
off yet.
No, because he's in the
This
he's
is
in
the
the
opening
opening
dance.
credits. So I think if you're in the opening credits, you're probably safe. Because I don't
Yeah.
think anybody in there is dead.
Mm-mm. Oh, there's some in there we still haven't gotten to yet.
Hmm.
So, but
And
I swear this was the episode Adebayo was going to tell Peacemaker who her mom was. Like I feel
yeah,
like we get right there to it, and then something happens and we don't get there. I'm like, because that's gonna be fun, and that's gonna be a big plot point somewhere down the line because everyone's not gonna trust her anymore.
right. Because no
Rightfully
one
so.
knows. No one
Yeah.
knows. And then she doesn't take the call from her girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. She just denied it.
Hmm.
Mm.
Like I don't have time to deal with this right now.
And she said the first episode with this new job, she'll have more time for her and everything. No more late nights, is what she said. And
Yeah.
she was late night and ignore the phone call. So,
And they're not living together
mm-mm.
because of the danger.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
A lot of things happening here.
Yeah, I'm like you though. I liked Vigilante's fight scene in the prison. Um, I'm curious. I didn't like I didn't like Robert Patrick's mullet
Oh
in the
no!
flashback
In the
scene.
flashback scene, oh god, that was
Like,
horrible.
oh,
We'll
not a good look.
we'll find out what killed his brother. I don't think Peacemaker's the one that killed his brother. I think he was around, but like he seized out. It looked like and had white frothy sputum, which
It
is
looked like maybe he hit his head.
yeah. So I don't know what
And
made him fall. We'll get into that I'm sure more because that's the big. They've said it almost every episode or every time Peacemaker's with his dad. It's all about
mhm.
I loved your brother more. It's your brother's fault. It's your fault that your brother's dead and all this other stuff. So
I wonder if they were scuffling or something, and his dad kind of stuck his foot out, tripped his brother
yeah,
and then that resulted in his, yeah,
so,
something like
something
that. 'Cause
racist, I'm sure.
that's what it, that's what it looked like is that they were, because they're all there,
Yeah,
and he's training his kids to do what he does.
horrendous things.
So I wonder if it was something in relation to that.
Yeah. It's good. I still enjoy this show, and it's one of those ones that I look forward to every week to watch. For me, at least, I love John Cena's acting is so much fun to watch, especially in these roles like this. He knows what he's doing. He knows where his strong suit is. It's this.
I did like that they tacked on the scene at the end where they're talking about, the if it walks like a duck scene.
Yeah. Because what was that supposed to mean?
That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Duck would be tripping all over the pants.
Right. Oh, I love it. Trying to think if there's anything else.
4 more of these, man.
I didn't realize there's 4 more. Already a lot more than we're getting for. No, that's 8. So that's about the same.
Marvel shows give us 6.
Don't like that. So, all right, 4 more for that one. But let me tell you, we've got 20 more of Superman and Lois. Actually, I don't know. I'm just going off of the normal CW shows. But, all right, Superman and Lois, Season 2, Episode 2, The Ties That Bind, directed by David Ramsey. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again this week, and hopefully this is the last time I say it. I feel like this season is leagues ahead of last season. Everyone's acting is phenomenal. I feel like they got the teenage boys, Jonathan and Jordan, exactly where they want them acting-wise and how much they want to put into it. And I think Natalie being home with them is such a great addition to the show. And I'm very curious to see where she goes from there. The big reveal of the end scene with Sarah kind of was called. Did not expect it to be a lesbian moment. But I knew that was coming. She obviously did something at the camp we knew that was not going to be okay with Jordan. But man, I thought we were about to get Jonathan to get his super strength this episode. When they were in the weight room, and he's over there with just a little 10 pounds on his arms, and old dude is doing, guarantees doing X-Kryptonite, benching 345 pounds or whatever he was doing. I was like, okay, he's about to get his super strength. Didn't get it. Thought he was going to. I still think this season he's going to get his powers somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But, I loved this episode. Obviously, it's a Doomsday that's bringing into it. I thought we were about to get a good little Loki moment with Tauro. Did not get it, but I just, so well done this episode.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff here. I mean, Lana is running for mayor.
Yes. And even, like, it's, I was telling Jamie that today, too, when we watched it. Like, I know last season, neither one of us liked that household or cared any about the storylines in there. I feel like this season, I care. I am all in right now.
Yeah, it's a lot better. And I think part of it last season was they spent so much time setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
And you're wanting to see what's going on with the Kent family.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm here for this other family. I don't really need to see this right now.
Right.
So I feel like it was necessary because it got us to where we're at now.
Right.
But at the same time, boy, was it painful to sit through sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And, the whole thing with Sarah, do you see it going where I see it going, that she and Natalie...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be a whole rift between everybody, and yeah. I don't think that should be the plot point, but I'm also not a writer for the show.
Right.
So, but the only thing is that kind of is on my radar from this episode. But there's only one part that I did not like. And whenever this Chrissy Beppo, the journalist from the small Podunk Gazette newspaper, thinks he is big shot in all of this. Oh, they're going to question your journalistic integrity because I'm listening to this podcast about a case that you worked years ago. You've got maybe 10 readers. I mean, on the farms. Why do you care Like, why is it such a big plot point going on right now? Is it to talk about
Right.
her sister? I mean, with Lucy, I don't understand why this is a big deal right now. And this is a show too that, going back to Supergirl. Supergirl always stayed in what was the town she stayed in? Whatever, Central? No, not Central.
No, it wasn't Central. It was
Whatever city she's in,
National City.
National City. But Superman is all over the world at all the times.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what is Supergirl doing now? Why is it she helping? But we still don't. It's like it's loosely part of the CW verse, but not
Mm-hmm.
all in on the CW verse. And I'm just like, come on. But that's something I realized with this episode. We got Tag back. I did not think we would see that character come back at all. But he's a part of the super team.
And it's curious though, right? Because they're using X-Kryptonite
Mm-hmm.
to give these folks these abilities.
Yep.
And it's like, well, eventually that can wear off. And what do you do if they're in the middle of a fight or they get captured?
Well, so they
How many times has Superman been captured by somebody?
right. It's
So,
they are metahumans, but the X-Kryptonite is just enhancing their abilities.
right, but they'll be weaker
Yeah.
if they don't have the X-Kryptonite. And when that happens, they're going to get killed.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be it. I mean, that's why Superman said, Tag's barely 18 right now,
Right.
and they're throwing him into these situations that should not be an 18-year-old's wheelhouse.
I still love the line from last episode, and they replayed it at the beginning in the previously on segment, where Superman looks at Anderson and says that that insignia on their chest is not yours to give.
Well, he says
And I
it's-
think that's going to come back
yeah.
to bite somebody because, maybe it's. I keep wanting to call him Morgan Edge because that's what we knew him as
Right.
for so long. Maybe it's him. Maybe he sees the crest and
Mm-hmm.
he targets those people, whatever. But
I didn't think they were going to keep him around. I thought that was going to be like his season's done. We're not going to use him anymore. But he really is like a Loki character. Like, I wanted him to do good this episode. And I think he almost would have. Because right there when he was choking him out and their mom was like, no, don't do that. And I feel like he hesitated a little bit, but then Superman quickly got up and knocked him out. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I wanted that so bad. I think we'll get that still. Because he said that line when he took him back to the mountain bunker. He says, do you see the good in me? He says, no, but I want to. And I'm like, oh, yeah, me too, buddy. I want to see it as well.
something will come up where it will benefit him to help Superman defeat Doomsday or Darkseid.
Yeah.
And that will be the point at which we see that he's that kind of Loki-Thor relationship develop where they find ways to tolerate one another in moments where they need to be together. Maybe they kill him off in the process. Maybe he sacrifices himself, but who knows?
This show's so great. I want more every time, every week. The episode ends. I'm like, okay, I could use another hour of this show. But so we're for sure. It's either Darkseid or Doomsday. It's who's down there, right? We're both in agreement. That's one of those two.
I think it's kind of gotta be one of those two. I mean,
I'm thinking. My thought is, I think the X-Kryptonite was a prison, so to speak, because you got to think they're mining all this away, and now he's getting stronger. So I'm like, I think it's what's kept him down there, or maybe, I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing with these ideas. And now that it's being mined, he's punching his way back through. And that's what's causing all these. I think that he and Superman are linked, and that's why Clark is having all these visions and attacks and everything. I do like that Jordan is getting stronger as the days and years go on. Well, that was months go on now, not years. But they said, "Oh, you've matured a little bit more, but you're still not strong enough for me." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I like this.
But
I
like you
like it."
said, he got in some good shots.
Mm-hmm. Got a little hole in her
So
shirt and everything too, and I love how they brought that into it.
yeah,
So I love Superman and Lois. All right. Next week will be episode 3. I don't have a title for it, but it's gonna be great. On to the news. Number 1. Moon Knight kicked off the week with a new trailer, and we got us a release date of March the 30th. We were sitting here wondering, when was everything going to be? Where, in a drought of MCU shows and movies. Well, there you go, March 30th, and that's going to lead into Doctor Strange. March, April.
yeah.
Yeah, it should. So in theory, Multiverse should already come out, but here we go.
Which makes me wonder why, or makes me wonder if that's exactly why they pushed Doctor Strange back into May.
Mm,
Because it times out where this will end,
yeah,
and then we'll get Doctor Strange.
we should have had Doctor Strange much earlier, but what do I know? Next one, Godzilla and the Monsterverse are coming to Apple Plus TV for a new series and going to Deadline.com, and this is by Justin Kroll. In a massive deal that expands on Legendary's Monsterverse, Apple TV Plus has ordered a new live-action series featuring Godzilla and the Titans. Following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco and the shocking new reality that monsters are real, the Untitled series explores one family's journey to uncover its buried secrets and a legacy linking them to the secret organization known as Monarch. The series will be produced by Legendary Television and executive produced by co-creators Chris Black, who will also serve as showrunner, and Matt Fraction, alongside Safe Houses Pictures, Joby Harold, and Tori Tunnell, and Toho Co. Limited. That's cool. So
Yeah.
it's cool that it's taking place after the first one, and not after most recent one with Kong. So that'll be kind of fun. Next one here, this actress will link into our movie when we talk about it here in a minute. Mary Elizabeth Winstead joins Star Wars Ahsoka in a secret role. I'm going to tvline.com by Dave Nemetz. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is moving from Fargo to a galaxy far, far away. The actress has joined the cast of Disney Plus's upcoming Star Wars series, Ahsoka, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Ahsoka stars Rosario Dawson, who will reprise her Mandalorian role as Jedi Knight warrior Ahsoka Tano. Some details about Winstead's character are being kept tightly under wraps as of now. It'll be fun.
Any speculation?
I've been thinking about that. Let me see. I forget who the character was. I'm not the biggest on who a lot of Star Wars characters are. But someone I saw on Twitter had it as something fun. Who will be... It's one of the green-haired girls. Or the green aliens. Anyway, I can't find it, but it's someone like that that's been loosely in the series, but not 100% in.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Releases this week. I've got nothing for TV. Nothing this week.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. That's probably going to be a theme.
Yeah.
On to movies. Have you watched anything else?
No, I didn't watch anything. No, I watched half of Spider-Man: Homecoming, but that was it.
Half?
It goes on after the playoffs last night, so I flipped over and just watched the last half of it, and it's still a great movie.
All right, so into our movie review this week, we watched Kate on Netflix, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead, starring Woody Harrelson, who's always great in these types of roles. He's just fun to watch. If by some chance the main thing you know him from is Cheers, boy, are you missing out.
Hunger Games. That's a lot of know.
Natural Born Killers. No,
not even Cheers.
Well, damn.
I know.
So this movie came out in 21. I'm trying to remember ballpark when, but we'll kind of get spoilery on this probably if
I'm okay
you're
with it.
okay with it.
Yeah.
All right.
I got the spoilers tag up, so.
Basically, Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Kate, who is an assassin, and she was trained from a young age. Her parents were killed, and Woody Harrelson kind of takes her in for the purpose of training her for being an assassin for hire. Um, we don't see a ton of the background. We just see the job that sets up the movie. So she's in Osaka, Japan. Her target is a guy we don't even get to see that much of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he gets out of a car. He's walking around. He's walking beside his daughter, and she and I'm forgetting Harrelson's character name now, but
Varric, or
she
V, is what she
Varric
calls him.
V. She and V have a kind of a policy. We don't do anything if there are kids around. And he's walking with his daughter, and she's basically told you have to take the shot.
Yeah. We never found out who the
She
woman was on the in the
no,
earpiece, and I was very
no,
confused about that because it seemed like, by the end of the movie, it was all just Woody Harrelson. So
yeah,
I'm like, well, who's the woman that was
right,
running recon? So
yeah. But she takes the shot. One of the things I loved about this movie were the effects.
mm-hmm.
You see from behind the guy, and you see the bullet go through his neck.
See a little skin flap.
Yeah, and he's just standing there, and his daughter looks back at him. And about that time, the second bullet hits his head, and
Mm-hmm.
he just drops. Um, there was another later bit in the geisha house where she takes a blade and goes up through a guy's,
Mm-hmm.
like, but below his mouth here in his neck, and it comes out his sinus cavity.
Yep. And you see
And
it all.
just, yeah, and it's just sitting there. And it's just like this great work by the makeup and special effects
Mm-hmm.
department. Um, anyway, they complete this job. They go about their business. You flash forward 10 months, and getting, she ends up getting a new assignment. And it turns out she's going after the guy that she killed in Osaka. She's now in Tokyo. She's going after his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Before that can happen, she picks up a guy in a bar, which
Always.
you get the idea that this is not something she does a lot, that she's letting her guard down because she wants out. She wants to feel normal. And that guy was put there to poison her. And it's not something with an antidote.
No, there was
It's
isotope 8 or
it's
something like that.
petroleum 204, I think
204.
is what it
Yeah.
was. And so she has basically from the time she finds out, they give her roughly 24 hours to live. Um, so she's going to spend the rest of this time trying to kill the people who poisoned her. And she tears through the Yakuza. She's like a one-woman army.
And not
And
just one, all of them.
yeah, I mean, she takes out, in the geisha house alone, she probably takes out 15
Mm-hmm.
or more. Um, the one thing I did notice with a couple of the fight scenes, and I don't know if this was just oversight on the part of the director, but there were moments where it moved slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's gonna stab this guy to the right. She blocks this guy to the left, and she blocks, and he just kind of stands there
Yeah.
while she does this, and then comes back to him, and
Probably meant to be
they,
sped up in post.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just didn't happen. Um, I loved the movie though. She's great
Yeah.
in this. Um, fantastic. But and like I said, Woody Harrelson's good. The young actress that plays Ani, the daughter,
Miku Patricia Martineau.
yeah, she was very good too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really bratty at first.
Yeah. Her character got on my nerves a lot the first half of the movie.
Yeah, I had to keep reminding myself of what she witnessed
Yeah.
to kind of give the
What she's
character a
been
little
through.
bit of, yeah. Um, apparently, Boom Boom Lemon is pretty good because
I've never heard of it until
e
this movie.
even as she knows she's dying, Kate wants Boom Boom Lemon. It's like I guess it would be like a Minute Maid lemonade or
Yeah,
something
that's what I
similar
would
to that.
equate it to, or like a Fanta or something.
Um, but she marches through the Yakuza. She works her way up the ladder until finally she gets to the uncle, Ani's uncle, the brother of her original target, who she believes ordered her poisoning,
Kojima.
Kojima. And he says, "This wasn't me."
Hmm.
Basically tells her they have the same enemies. One of his, I guess, to equate it to the American mob, one of his capos
Yeah.
is wanting to unseat him and take over the family. And he was working with V to make that happen. So V's the one, when she said she wanted out, V said, we find out later that V said, if she doesn't change her mind, we'll have to eliminate her. Well, they went ahead and took that on, even though he
Hmm.
believed he could get her to change her mind. So he really didn't order her murder. He just said, if she won't change her mind, this is something we'll have to do. But he also then attempts to take Ani
And do the
and turn
same
her into
exact
another
thing.
Kate,
Oh.
but it doesn't work. So I don't know what you thought of. I think I gave this 3.5 stars on Letterboxd,
Mm.
um, because I like the effects, I like the story, the acting was good. Um, there were still some things I would have liked to have. It only runs. I say only. It only runs an hour and 46 minutes.
Yeah.
But with the pacing, it feels like
I think it
about
was
15
very
minutes
well
quicker than.
paced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I gave it a two. It
Ooh,
yeah. I liked it. The action scenes were great. I just the story didn't really grab me as much as I thought it would. I called the big twist from the very get go.
hmm,
Like when she said she wanted out, and then we see her get poisoned. I was like, ah. I said, I bet it's V because he's her moneymaker,
yeah,
and he's going to do that because you don't have a big character like Woody Harrelson and have him in for 10 minutes at the front of the movie, and that'd be it.
yeah.
I did like, and again, like I said, the Annie got on my nerves the first half of the movie. She came into her own the last half. The action scenes were great. The action scene where the one of the guy's boyfriends, well, in his apartment, was a
Oh, in the
lot of
penthouse.
yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. Where
Yeah.
Ani gets her first kill was cool. The alleyway scenes were cool with the fighting, where she was stayed up in between the alley and then dropped down and killed him. It just, I think it was the story was the biggest part that didn't grab me because once we got
Mm.
to where she confronts Kojima and he shows her the pictures, I said because he's Woody Harrelson's right out there talking to Annie. And I said, okay, there's the twist that's going to happen. I kind of called from the beginning, but the ending fight scene was really cool. They all just come in. It's Kate and Kojima and all of his people all just stormed that building. I was like, yeah, I'm all about this. And
Yeah.
then, but I mean, again, spoilers. But Kate dies at the end, which they said
We
was incurable.
think.
Yeah, well, yeah. So there could be a Kate too, which knowing these shows and movies, it's very possible. Hello, what's the one with Chris Hemsworth watching?
Extraction.
Yeah, Extraction. So who knows? But it was good, just not like it was very predictable, and I don't like to be able to predict things, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So it was a fun little hour 45-minute watch. But the
Yeah.
pacing was really well done.
Yeah. It was predictable. I think that the one thing about it is, you know, with Extraction, we both sat there and said, "How do you come back from this?" Because he got
Yeah.
shot in the
Oh
jugular.
yeah, yeah. That he was bleeding out and fell over the bridge. Yeah,
Yeah. But they're finding a way to bring it
yeah.
back. So could they bring her back? They could. They could make Ani someone
Mm,
who becomes what Kate was, but with a different purpose
yeah.
to, you know. So I don't know. It's probably been pretty popular, I would guess. Um, on Netflix. I don't know if there's a way to find out like what the
Let me
views
see.
are on their platform, but I know that
Kate.
she's as you said, she's got Star Wars coming up. She's going to enter that universe.
I got a
So,
4.1 on Rotten Tomatoes or a Google survey. 45%
I-
Rotten Tomatoes, 6.2 IMDb, 47% on Metacritic. Oh, it came out on my birthday last year.
so
$25 million
about
budget.
about middle of the pack then.
Yeah.
Most people view it as average. Yeah,
So,
it could be a one and done. Yeah, I just felt like it's one of those movies that I think you'll enjoy if you're just wanting something that you can sit down and not have to think ahead too much.
yeah.
If you just want something you can enjoy and just go along with the story without trying to figure out what's happening, this is a good one.
So it looks like going to comicbook.com by Adam Barnhart on October 9th. Kate was. Where did I just see that at? According to the latest Nielsen charts released, Kate is the most watched movie currently available on streaming. Using
Wow,
data collected within the past week, again, this is October 9th, viewers have logged 428 million watching minutes of the flick. That
it's coming back.
means roughly 4.12 million people watched that movie. And that was in
They'll
October, so that was 2 weeks after release. No, a month after release. So
they'll do something
yeah,
with it.
that'll be back.
It,
If it'll be
it may
Ani in the
not.
future or something, but
Yeah,
yeah, good call.
they're not gonna they're not gonna leave that money on the table.
Nope.
All right, on to the news. This was
Oh, we got our
an,
movie for next week as well.
oh yeah, our movie for next week. I'm gonna let you do the honors there,
It
Tyler.
is Don't Look Up on Netflix with everybody under the
Don't
sun in it.
don't look up what on Netflix.
Just don't look up.
Oh,
So it's a nice little parody of COVID and the government, if you will.
yeah,
I've heard it's really good.
DiCaprio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande, Jonah Hill. There's a lot of people in it.
All right, from the news department then. Uh, News that at first was exciting and then not so much. Um, so Black Panther 2 went back into production, restarting, and then shut back down
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
of because of COVID. Um, this comes from IGN and Matt Kim. Black Panther Wakanda Forever continues to face setbacks just as filming for the sequel was set to resume. A COVID-19 outbreak on the set has caused yet another production pause for the Black Panther sequel. Um, Hollywood Reporter reported the challenges of filming during the pandemic as a new COVID variant sweeps across the country. Among the productions affected is Black Panther 2, which just resumed production after Letitia Wright returned to the set after a stunt accident. Now, it does say several cast and crew members tested for positive for COVID. Um, here's a question. So Letitia Wright is back.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I don't think she should be, in my opinion, but
well, yeah, but this kind of underscores. So they didn't want her to return because she's not vaccinated,
correct.
right? Correct. She comes back and there's a COVID outbreak.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that she's involved in that, but
Kind of
this
ironic.
should this should be a point to say, see, this is why
Yeah.
it is important if you're going to be involved in something time sensitive like this, which
Mm-hmm.
the way they line these movies and
I
shows
mean,
up, they are time
this
sensitive.
is supposed to come out at the end of the year,
Yeah, and they
and
can't even get going.
yeah, we're not done filming. Guaranteed, this gets pushed back.
If I know this is going to be one of those things where people are like, you can't do that. If you have something time sensitive like this, you need to eliminate all possibilities of shutdowns, and you're either vaxxed or you're not on this set.
Yeah,
Get out.
it's how it's supposed to be, but
And yeah. Plus, I think you're losing less because there's still talk that she's not going to be given the mantle of Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's still talk that it's going to go to another character ultimately. They could work around that.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm
yeah.
curious to see where it goes from here. Because, I mean, they hit a delay, wait till after the holidays. Here we are, delaying it once again.
At this point, we have enough data.
Yeah. Shouldn't be new.
Anyway, so this is one that I sent Tyler as soon as I saw it. Had you seen this yet?
Just a little bit before you sent it to me.
Okay. It comes from Entertainment Weekly and Maureen Lee Linker.
This is the best one I could find out of all of the stuff that's been going around.
Yeah, Joss Whedon breaks silence on allegations made by Ray Fisher, Charisma Carpenter, and Gal Gadot. Now, I did see something online, by the way, speaking of Gal Gadot, that says her name is actually pronounced Gal Gadot.
Mm. It depends on part of the country you're from. I've heard it both ways from
I
a
have
bunch
to.
of different people. So,
The writer-director has been accused of mistreating actors on the sets of Justice League and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I did not know the Buffy one.
Um, yeah, it's kind of a surprise, but considering the difference in eras,
Yeah.
it says after months of silence, Joss Whedon has publicly addressed allegations of misconduct on the set of Justice League from stars Ray Fisher and Gal Gadot, as well as accusations of mistreatment from Buffy the Vampire Slayer actress Charisma Carpenter. In a lengthy profile published by New York Magazine Monday, Whedon confronted a controversy that has tarnished his reputation as a feminist and progressive ally. In addition to revealing he'd been in therapy for the past few years dealing with complex post-traumatic stress disorder from a damaging childhood, the writer-director largely denied or downplayed Fisher, Godot, and Carpenter's allegations. This is where it gets interesting.
Mm.
With regard to Fisher, who accused Whedon of gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable behavior after he took over for Zack Snyder as the director of Justice League, Whedon said he felt the actor did not deliver a good performance. Quote, "We're talking about a malevolent force. We're talking about a bad actor in both senses," end quote. Okay, then why did you keep him there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people get fired in the middle of movies all the time for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It um
I like
now
the
Ray,
yeah. I like his response.
the initial response that he had um was looks like Joss Whedon got to direct an endgame after all. Rather than address all of the lies and buffoonery today, I'll be celebrating the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Tomorrow the work continues. Hashtag MLK Day. He did come out later, Fisher did. I think it was he and Charisma Carpenter had kind of a back and forth,
Yeah.
supporting each other with their allegations. Um, let's see. Let me get to the next part. The studio said at the time of Fisher's allegations, remedial action has been taken but did not provide details. Earlier this year, Fisher's co-star Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman in WB's superhero films, said Whedon threatened her career on the set of Justice League, but speaking to New York, Whedon chalked it up to a communication error.
It's not how that works.
Quoting, "English is not her first language, and I tend to be annoyingly flowery in my speech." End quote. He recalled joking about a scene Godot wanted him to cut and quipping she'd have to tie his body to a train track to get him to do so. Quote, "Then I was told I had said something about her dead body and tying her to the railroad track." End quote. In response to Whedon's explanation, Godot told New York, "I understood perfectly." And then
Ugh.
Charisma Carpenter, in February said in a statement, "Joss has a history of being casually cruel. He's created hostile and toxic work environments since his early career. I know because I experienced it firsthand repeatedly." She went on to allege Whedon called her fat when she was 4 months pregnant, harassed her about whether she was going to keep it, and ultimately unceremoniously fired her from Angel after she gave birth. Um, Whedon acknowledged regrets and missteps from his Buffy and Angel days, saying, I was young, I yelled, and sometimes you had to yell.
Hmm.
Regarding Carpenter's allegations, Whedon said he was not mannerly after learning she was pregnant, but denied calling her fat. Quote, most of my experiences with Charisma were delightful and charming. She struggled sometimes with her lines, but nobody could hit a punchline harder than her. I mean, I know that when these allegations first came out, Sarah Michelle Gellar had a post that she was that basically insinuated she was supportive of something that was going on, but it was extremely vague. Um, and people now think that she was talking about her castmates and the people on Justice League coming out about Whedon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he has completely he's completely screwed up the response to all this.
Yep.
If you're gonna wait this long and then you're gonna come out in an interview like this is not
It's
how
still
you
come
handle it.
guns a blazing. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not me, and what was me was the result of me being younger, and oh, I've got this PTSD from my childhood, and you don't bring all that up at once because
No.
it sounds like you're just unloading excuses.
The Gal Gadot part is just mind-boggling to me. Like, how did
Uh,
anybody let this go on?
yeah,
But I don't think
and
he'll
and
have a
for
big job
his
again ever.
and for his response to be, well, English isn't her first language.
No, that's not how it works, buddy.
I mean,
He's done.
she, first off, she speaks what? Doesn't she speak like 6 languages or something?
Yeah, she's very multilingual.
Yeah,
So
and she speaks English extremely well. So trying to say that she didn't understand what he was saying is stupid.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just,
good try, buddy.
yeah, I think he's done, and I
Yeah.
think he knows he's done, and he's trying to. This is him flailing.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will give him a job, but as far as Hollywood
Probably
at
not.
large, I don't think they will. No, maybe he can make documentaries for Fox News. I don't know.
He sure will too.
Did I say that?
Yeah, that's the truth.
Um, final bit of news: Knives Out 2 to release in theaters and Netflix in late 2022.
Sounds like I've been
It'll
watching it
probably,
in Netflix.
yeah, yeah,
Easy movie to
and
review.
and much like television, no releases this week.
Yeah. It's the end of January. We'll start getting some stuff in February, I imagine. All right, Vidya Games.
Video games.
Playing anything fun, anything new, anything exciting?
Uh, I dropped back into Assassin's Creed for a little bit, still kind of plugging away at that. I did end up, I think, everything well, most everything I played, I'm gonna have to go back and replay.
Yeah.
Uh, the game kind of glitched on me. Um,
No.
it was, oh, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. You have to go up to the top of the tower and kidnap him.
I see it.
Um,
There's so much that
yeah,
happens
I
in that
know
game.
yeah. But you're supposed to kidnap him because someone else needs to be named the bishop, or I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell it is. But I got up there and I got him. I got him tied up and I threw him over my shoulder and I was like, all right, how do I get out of here? Because there's no way to get down and you can't jump down too far with him.
Yeah.
Well, then I finally figured out a way to get down from the tower with him, but the game would not recognize I kidnapped him. It was still giving me the
Mm.
mission that I needed to
Yep.
tie him up and kidnap him. And I was like, I'm done. I tried putting him in one of the boats.
Isn't it so
I tried
frustrating?
I tried to drown him by dropping him in the river,
Yeah.
And he just kind of sat there looking at me, and I was like, I ought to just. So I just backed out. I was like, I'll have to pick it up
Yeah.
later and see where it resets. But I did that. I think I said last week I'd already dropped in on Spider-Man a little bit,
Hmm.
playing that again. I'm on chapter 2. I'm partway through chapter 2 of Tell Me Why. So I've made some progressions there. And then, of course, the usual Madden. So,
Yeah. I've been playing Chipping Away at Psychonauts. I'm having fun with it. Um, Chipping away at Halo. I don't think I'm going to be anywhere close where I want to be. Like these games I've started, I want to finish before February
uh-huh.
because though Horizon Forbidden West and the new Destiny expansion is going to take over my life and I won't touch anything else. Halo, I don't even think I'm 25% way through the story going off of the achievement tracker, but that's I don't know how all that works. And I'm trying to think. Psychonauts are doing well, and Destiny I've played just a couple of things to clean up before the new expansion drops. But just those two mainly. Haven't really touched. I haven't really touched anything else this week. Just been kind of
Mm-hmm.
a slower week. Just hadn't done anything. But with the games coming out this week, there's two in particular. I'll probably one I know I'll be playing. The second one's a maybe. So we'll get there. But Chris, we have to talk about the biggest gaming news in our lifetime. I don't think there's ever going to be a bigger news than this story. And you have to be living under a rock if you haven't heard about this one. Microsoft purchases Activision and Blizzard. I'm going to theverge.com for this whole write up by Tom Warren. Satya Nadella says the deal will play a key role in the development of metaverse platform. You don't forget that. Ignore the metaverse stuff. Like that doesn't mean anything. Microsoft is acquiring Activision, the troubled publisher of Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Diablo, to name a few. The deal will value Activision at $68.7 billion, far in excess of the $26 billion Microsoft paid to acquire LinkedIn in 2016. It's Microsoft's biggest push into gaming, and the company says it will be the third largest gaming company by revenue, behind Tencent and Sony, once the deal closes. Microsoft plans to add many of Activision's games to Xbox Game Pass once the deal closes, which will be, they're thinking it's going to be June of 2023, because it's going to be the third fiscal year 23, and third quarter. Let's see, Microsoft, blah, blah, blah. Microsoft will soon publish franchises like Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Candy Crush, which are your biggest avenues out of all of them. Quote, upon close, we will offer as many Activision Blizzard games as we can within Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass, both new titles and games from Activision Blizzard's incredible catalog, says Microsoft CEO of Gaming Phil Spencer. A couple things before we kind of get into more of this other stuff. Actually, let me see if there's anything else I want to bring in. Before we get there, no. Okay. This is huge. Call of
Mm-hmm.
Duty, for the past 15 years, whatever iteration is out, is the number one selling video game of each year for 15 years straight. This deal is $68.7 billion. Bethesda was $7.5 billion. Everyone is going bananas because Call of Duty will be an Xbox exclusive. If you want to play Call of Duty, you're going to have to come to Xbox. Now, I don't think it's in this story, but Phil Spencer has said, like he has said with Bethesda, we are honoring our contracts that are already going right now. So like Deathloop was a Bethesda game, and it was already going to be on Sony and Sony only for a while. So they said they're going to keep that. It's going to be the same thing with PlayStation and Call of Duty. They're going to keep that going and any obligations like that. But 2024, I think, is when we are going to see Call of Duty become an Xbox exclusive and not be on PlayStation. And that is mind-boggling. Either way, Microsoft makes money. If they
Mm-hmm.
keep it on both or if they just stays on Xbox. But you don't spend almost $70 billion and let your competitor have your number one video game sales on their platform. But
Yeah.
that's how I look at it.
at the other end of it, though, there's some people that are loyal to Sony. They're not going
Hmm.
to go to Microsoft.
Yeah,
So if you want those people to spend their money on your game, you've got to have it
put it
over there.
everywhere. So it's very this is huge, especially because of all of the Bobby Kotick thing from Activision with the sexual misconduct and abuse and everything's been going on there. Everyone's been wondering, okay, so because the shareholders and everything did not get rid of Bobby Kotick, so everyone has been asking, what are you going to do about him? I guarantee once that deal closes, they're going to give him a severance package and get him out. No, it's not a win because he'll be getting millions of hundreds of millions of dollars in severance, but he will no longer be a part of that company. I believe Phil Spencer because he is now they had to restructure the gaming leadership. He is now CEO of Microsoft Gaming, which he has been, but he's taking everyone has to report to him. Activision, Blizzard, everybody reports to him through one of their avenues. And he is a good person and he knows what he's doing. He's always for the gamer first. And he knows about these things and what's going on and he knows it all. But you have to be everything he says very legal heavy because you can't just say things. The deal hadn't closed. So you have to say things you can say and say things that not say things you can't. Further on this the article, Microsoft doesn't detail exactly how it will approach solving these issues, and the company says Bobby Kotick will continue to serve as CEO of Activision and Blizzard for now. It looks like Kotick won't remain once the deal is fully closed and after the transition period to Microsoft, though. Spencer, formerly head of gaming at Microsoft, is now CEO of Microsoft Gaming, and the company says the Activision Blizzard business will report directly to Spencer. Quote, as a company, Microsoft is committed to our journey for inclusion in every aspect of gaming, among both employees and players, says Spencer. We deeply value individual studio cultures. We also believe that creative success and autonomy go hand in hand with treating every person with dignity and respect. We hold all teams, all leaders to this commitment. We're looking forward to extending our culture of proactive inclusion to the great teams across Activision and Blizzard. Trying to see if there's anything else. So you'll see the deal won't be approved for another 18 months. It's a long period to do to a close, but it's still crazy. And what's even crazier is the second news story I've got here. It's the only one really. But the next day, Sony loses $20 billion in the free market. So that's a lot of money. And that's when that phone call came in from Sony and Phil Spencer about, hey, what are we doing here? And he said, we're going to keep up with the contracts and everything, so don't worry. So,
Yeah. Do you think at some point Sony says, look, we need to start buying some other studios? And
really, all that's left on the table is Ubisoft and EA.
There you go.
Yeah, but I would want nothing more for Microsoft to own Ubisoft. Don't think it'll happen. I don't know if Ubisoft will stay as their own. A lot of people are wondering, like, what does this do for independent developers? And, like, why is Microsoft doing all this? But my thing is, one, they got ID at Xbox. All these teams can do indie projects. They don't have to work on the next big thing.
Right.
A lot of these teams are, hey, this is what you want to do? Okay, how do I help you do that? And that's what Phil Spencer does. And he said that in multiple interviews. Like, he lets these teams do what they want to do as far as development. So,
well, and that's one of the positives that EA has going for them is their independent developers program, right? So what do they call it? EA is it Originals or
yeah, like Take-Two is one of those studios that do that too.
So I think if you're Sony and you want to emphasize, hey, we're about the independent guys. We this is going to be your house to come to make those projects and get them out to a wider audience. Maybe acquire EA.
Yeah.
And bring that even more front and center.
But that's a lot of people are saying. What is Sony's answer to this?
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying they need to make a deal with Xbox and put Xbox Game Pass on Sony, on PlayStation. You still get those games over on the console, but you have to pay Microsoft to play those games. But and speaking of Game Pass, though, Chris, we're going to get there's already hundreds of games on Game Pass. This is going to bolster it. Like, we're gonna get every Diablo on here. I don't know about Call of Duty, how they would do that with Game Pass. I'm sure they still will. But just Diablo, Overwatch, they will. Overwatch 2 guarantee will be a day one Game Pass, which is a huge game that's supposed to come out. I don't think you could do World of Warcraft as a subscription service game, so I don't know how you do that, but this is great, especially for the Call of Duty developers like Raven. I forget the last part of that. I think it's just Raven. Sledgehammer Games. You've got Infinity Ward. All of those people that are tired of doing a Call of Duty annually every other year. This gives them. I bet they go to Phil Spencer once his deal is done and say, "Hey, we're tired of doing Call of Duty games. This is our pitch for a game we want to make. Can we do it?" He'll be like, "Yeah, that sounds great. Please make this game." And they won't have to do any of this crunch or anything else that these developers have done. And the future, like starting, I'm telling you, 2024 E3 and stuff like that for Microsoft is going to be banger because we're about to get a lot of fun things. And this is, I mean, for being a Sony pony, as they call us, I mean, for all of PlayStation 4 generation, I love the 360, that was my one. But like Xbox, I've played more than I play my PlayStation right now. And it's because of Game Pass. Like Psychonauts is free on there. That's why I'm playing Game Pass. Halo, playing on Game Pass. I mean, dude, it's we've got a fun couple of years coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you also want. I mean, I know they're kind of off to the side. They're doing their own thing, and maybe that works for them long term. But then over here, kind of in left field, you've got Nintendo, right? And it's just like we keep talking Sony, Microsoft, and everybody's forgetting about Nintendo over there. So, I mean,
I don't, because Nintendo's never like acquired a studio.
Right.
Like you still have Sega, like they work very closely with Sega, and there's one other. But I mean, they don't acquire studios like Sony. Like Sony acquired Insomniac, they've acquired Santa Monica, and but it seems like these two are gobbling them up. And something else with Nintendo, the Switch released 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the next generation. We just dropped in 2020 Xbox and PlayStation 5. It's been 7 years. And we don't have an updated Switch. They have their OLED, but that's just better screen. There's nothing better inside internally. So I'm like, what are y'all doing?
What would the world come to if Sony announced we just bought Nintendo?
I don't know if that would ever happen, but wouldn't that be crazy? Just something out of left field. And we are now Sony Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, think about the ramifications that could have.
Both Japanese studios.
Microsoft. Yeah.
You never know. It's
no, especially after this.
Because Activision is huge. Like, I mean, they've got Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot. Like, Crash Bandicoot at one point was a Sony icon character. And now, and same thing with Spyro. And now that's going to be, like, both of those games are going to be straight to Game Pass. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun for Xbox gamers. Notable new releases this week. We've got Rugby 22 for everything on, well, besides the Switch, comes out January 27th.
Which Tyler's looking forward to, by the way.
Yeah, I might catch it on sale because this next game is coming out, but Rugby 22 looks good. The trailers look fun, and I like rugby. Pokemon Legends Arceus on Switch January 28th, and then Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection PlayStation 5 on January 28th as well on Friday. I will be getting Pokemon. It's already pre-ordered and should be on my doorstep on Friday at some point. So I'm excited. The first open world Pokemon game should be fun. We will see. We will see. So, but guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Nerdwide podcast. Don't forget to share on all your favorite social media platforms. And don't forget to rate and review us on whatever podcasting service you are using. Social media, you can follow the Nerdwide account on Twitter at nerd_wide. You can follow me personally at Ty_Haynes. You can follow Chris at MathTN7. If you want to follow Nerdwide on the Facebook side of things, just search nerdwide.com, and we're the first search there, and we will post all of our podcasting links as soon as they go up, But guys, as always, this has been the Nerdwide Podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we cannot wait to see you next week with some, well, for me personally, for Superman and Lois. So we'll see you then.
Later, guys.